Hemant, thanks so much for joining us. So when you first joined General Catalyst over 20 years ago, it was a relatively small East Coast fund. Obviously, a lot has changed. What has changed, and why is it unique?
First of all, thanks for having me. Look, I think what has changed is the opportunity for entrepreneurs and what they can do today. So when I joined GC, it's almost 23 plus years ago, we were mostly funding software companies that bring efficiency to different parts of our, businesses and sort of consumer lives. But if you look at it today, we're actually building businesses that are fundamentally transforming all major pillars of society, right? We're building incredible companies in defense, in healthcare, in industrials, energy. So the scope has changed a lot. So, but if the founders are going to tackle problems that are that big, then how we serve them has to change as well. Because ultimately, we're in service of, founders building enduring companies. And so, a lot of the journey GC has gone through over the last really 14 years since we moved out to the Bay Area and set up a presence in Silicon Valley as well, has been to understand that opportunity and figure out how best we can serve these founders.
And General Catalyst has, it's been doing this strategy of rolling up kind of unloved industries like accounting and customer service and adding an AI element. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I think if I back up, from 20 years ago, we were a venture capital firm to now we describe ourselves as a global investment and transformation company. And so in that context, we're really playing two mega trends. One is what we call global resilience. And the whole idea is that every region, every country is thinking through how they can serve their people better in critical industries, defense, healthcare, energy, industrials. And so there's a whole reglobalization happening of supply chains, and companies have to think about serving markets differently because of that. And the second, obviously, here in the Silicon Valley, we always talk about is the impact artificial intelligence is having in society. So we have sort of said, okay, if those are the two big trends, where do we want to really focus? So we've gone and said we're going to go focus on transforming healthcare. We're focusing actively on what are AI-based deterrent solutions. And so we have a few areas like that. One of those areas is based on the observation that over the last 40 years, we have gone and outsourced a lot of labor to emerging economies around jobs in companies. So we've outsourced call centers, we've outsourced legal activity, we've outsourced accounting work. And what's happening now is that with AI, you can actually turn those outsourced labor opportunities into onshored AI productivity opportunities. So what we're doing with the roll-ups is actually going and acquiring and partnering with companies that provide these services largely with a human labor component, and then transforming them with AI so that we can have fundamentally different ways for businesses to run, and it's an opportunity to create a business transformation.
And you and I have talked about this before. Are you worried about displacing human jobs with AI?
Look, I think that's something we think about all the time. The reality is that there are many things we do today in our companies that will be done better with AI. That does unlock interesting opportunities because if, for example, your customer experience or your patient experience is really cost effective, you can serve your customers or your patients in healthcare with a mindset of abundance versus triage. So I think first thing is these industries do get transformed in a really positive way, but it does create an impact where we're going to eliminate a lot of jobs, and we're going to do that very fast. So unlike the previous technology trends, you think about cloud, there's still industries where cloud hasn't penetrated. But if you think about AI, it's happening across all the industries all at the same time, everything everywhere all at once. And so we have to think about reskilling real time as we are creating, sort of transitioning some of the workloads from human labor to AI agents.
Mm-hmm. And this is an opportunity that private equity firms are chasing as well. What is different about GC's take?
Yeah, so look, I think private equity as an asset class was very much focused on to acquire businesses, and they would bring operational efficiencies in and take costs out where they could and leverage debt as a source of creating returns. So all those things. What we do with our creation strategy has been to actually acquire these businesses, marry them up with AI teams, and put innovation in. So rather than having a mindset of, can we optimize these businesses, we're thinking about, can we transform these businesses to be much more technology enabled and therefore much more valuable because their unit economics, their margin structure, the ability to serve customers, the experience for customers, it all changes. So we can actually take these companies and almost make them modern AI companies with this mindset that we have in our creation strategy. So it is different from what PE has traditionally done in that asset class.
And Forbes likes to be a place that covers entrepreneurs and founders. You've obviously met many founders. What are you looking for in founders when GC wants to back someone?
Yeah, I mean, it's always the key question. And, for us, we're looking for founders that truly have, a set of values that they're working with, that they want to go along with, and they have a problem that they're authentically trying to solve. I think that authenticity and that drive and that mission-oriented nature sort of provides the ingredients that are required to build enduring companies, because that attracts people to come work for those founders, that attracts people like us to invest in those founders, that attracts customers and partners to work with their companies. So I think we're looking for those raw materials to say, are these the type of people that are going to go along, work on a problem that's very mission oriented, and be able to inspire people to be part of their movement.
So everyone's got an opinion about venture capital. What is one misconception that people have about it?
Yeah. So when I got in the business, I was always told we're in the pattern recognition business. And it's always, makes sense because you're seeing a lot of companies, you're seeing what's working in different businesses. You want to cross-pollinate those ideas. But now that I've done it for almost 25 years, when I take a step back and say what mattered and what are the companies that drove all the returns and had the greatest impact, no one of those companies looks like the other. So no power law companies look like each other. So I would actually argue we're in the anti-pattern business.
So what's next for GC?
Wow, I think we have a long road ahead. We view ourselves as hopefully a category defining company over time as well. And we're very much focused on this, can we partner with the world's most ambitious people? Can we help them build enduring companies? That we've sort of been doing for a long time. And for the last decade, we're very focused on, can we actually then work with those types of companies to transform industries? And, we're on that journey to go prove that out. And I think it's going to take the next decade to be able to make real progress on that goal for us.